Right, well, I'd like to welcome former Preston, Chester, Forest Green Rovers, Cambridge United, amongst others, and now Warrington town boss, Mark Beesley.
All right, Dom.
All right, Bees.
All right, mate.
I'm very happy to be here. So we're down here at Melwood, the old Liverpool training ground, but now it's the Robbie Fowler Academy, isn't it?
That's right, mate. Yeah, this is where I work. So this is where I come every day. It's brilliant to come here. You know, it's some site that we've got. It's where the academy. You know, it's been going 7 years. It's grown and grown and grown, and this is to come here every day and like do your education and do your football. It's no better place really.
So is that what it is? Is that like
yeah? It's classed as a education football academy. So obviously the lads do education. They do BTECs, they do A levels, they do vocational qualifications. They do a lot of things within that side, and then they do football, and they play on a Wednesday afternoon. They train Monday, Tuesday. They have the use of the S&C and recovery and things on a Thursday, and train on a Friday. Obviously, when you come in here and you've got the grass pitches, you've got the indoor pitch, you've got the brand new gym. You can't not be inspired, can you?
No, definitely not. I mean, you just like looking around since we've been here, and it's. I mean, you look at the pitch over there. It doesn't look like it's. It doesn't look like it's been played on, does it?
It hasn't. It's been given a rest. We've rested it for quite a while because obviously you get quite a lot of traction through the games, but it's it's looked after, and it's. Sometimes I don't realise how good a place it is. The older ones do, because they were with us, been with us 2 or 3 years, but it's inspirational, and you come in, the lads will no doubt go on to better things, whether it's football, whether it's a lot of lads go to uni, and jobs and stuff like that.
It's a great pathway though, really, when you think about it, because I mean, even when I was at Warrington with yourself and that, like you had a couple of the lads down, but like one in particular being Matty Gravosti, who's come here, developed, got his grades, and then
Matty was bright as well. So Matty got like an outstanding BTEC in sport and exercise science. We had a university place, so he was all set, and he did his last year, he did his personal training and his gym instructor and his FA courses, and then obviously played us at Warrington. And Matty was one of them. You just knew he was going to be a professional footballer. He was good for us, wasn't he, last year at Warrington?
Very good.
He scored goals, he made goals, he was 18, 19, and it's a good step for him. He's not on his own. Obviously, Kane Drummond come here, he's doing really well. We've got a couple more that we've drill regs, Josh Murray and Paddy Kay, they're playing in the county, so it is a good pathway, mate. It wasn't around when we was young, was it?
No, I think that's the thing. I was saying it on the way up here, and I was saying, like, it used to be like it'd be like an American scholarship. You'd aim for,
lads come here and they do the sort of leave here at 18, 19, and we've had a few goes to America. Remember Jamie Davis coming in?
Yeah.
He's doing really well. He's doing a Masters in New York, and he'd probably be in the Football League now, I think, if he was still here. But
well, I remember Sean Foster when he was with us at Scam, and I was saying on the way up, he played for us at Scam, and then he went to Hofstra University, studied over there, and he was playing for Hofstra University. I think he's like he's either the head coach or the assistant head coach.
A lot of lads don't, like James, they don't want to come back.
No.
They find a partner.
Can't blame them really. Like,
find a partner out there, and they get settled. And I think he was in New York. He's just moved now, but some place to do education there.
Not half, yeah. So, what do say, like, you leaving school or whatever? What do you have to do to get here?
So generally, what we do is it's open for everyone. There's more of a selection process, but it's up to anyone. They just apply. You go on the website, apply, or go onto social media platforms and register an interest, fill an application form, and we get them in. The principal, the boss, he'll do an interview with them and the parents to make sure they know what they're in for, and we show them round, and there's taster days and open nights, and it's good for them to come and have a look and see what it is.
Think if I was coming here as a young lad leaving school, I'd be saying, "Where's the pen?" You know what I mean? Sign me up.
Well, you get a load of blues.
Yeah.
I know we're at Melwood, Liverpool's training ground, but there's a lot of blues here because they know it's the best place to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Blues on the staff.
Yeah, I think we know that. Yeah. So right, well, what we're going to do, we're going to start off. Want to start off at the start of your playing career, and might miss a few steps here and there, but we'll try and cover as much as we can, and then go on to more sort of obviously what you're doing now, the managerial stuff now, and obviously at this moment in time you're going well in the league at Warrington, so want to sort of touch on how that's progressing and where you envisage being come the end of the season. So so we'll start off, like, because at the start of your career, was you at Everton and then ended up going to Preston?
No, I was at Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah, I was at Liverpool when I was 14. I think when I was younger, 10 or 11. Then I went when I was 14, did 2 years, and then, to be honest, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't really fit in, being sort of from Beerscough and our areas, you're a proper wool, aren't you, as they say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just didn't enjoy it. I was doing quite well, and I was always playing in the teams, and we were a decent team, but I think if I look back, that Liverpool team, the ones above us, was like Michael Owen and Gerrard, and then Stephen Wright, Michael Yates, don't you?
Yeah.
From Beerscough.
Yeah, I know the
name. He was highly thought of at that point, and below me, Stephen Warnock, John Miles, and I think that year's team I was in was just used. I felt it was just going to be used as fillers till the lad below come in, and that just helped the team. So I think I remember the time he said to me, "Look, at Christmas time, do you want to? If you stay till the summer, there's probably a good chance you'll get a scholar, or do you want to go?" And I was like to my dad, "No, I want to go." And I could have gone to Preston or Stoke, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'll go to Preston because it's half an hour away. And then I went to Stoke and I enjoyed it. And I think I went to Nottingham Forest as well. Don't ask me how or why that happened. I just remember being in digs with Marlon Airwood.
Wow.
With Marlon Airwood.
Yeah.
I just remember looking going.
Unit, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I was about 15 going, wow.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be that big.
Yeah. And was you always a centre forward then, like?
Yeah. I was quick then. I was.
Wouldn't have been a bad partnership, that, Marlon Airwood and Beesley.
Not the best looking one, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, no. An alright wingman for you, Beesley. Yeah. So, and then you end up at Preston. So, what sort of environment's that like? Because I mean, there have been some big characters there, even
it was the transition, I think, because my first year scholar, if you like, it was still the old A and B teams,
right?
And we was in the A League, and you'd go to Man United, and what used to happen then is, there'd be obviously reserves was a good level, but if there wasn't lads would play on a Saturday morning in the A team. So I remember going to Man United once, and we played Man United, Liverpool, Everton, City, and you get beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get beat easily. I'm thinking, play like Man United, but you can have 5 overage players. You turn up as a youth team.
Yeah.
And like United had like David May playing. I'm thinking, we'll not be like 6-0. You're not touching the ball. I remember the end of my first year, and you go in, to your review, and that. My coach was Neil McDonald, and he was brilliant. Like, and there was an old what do you call him, youth development officer, and he went, go in with your dad, and he goes, I don't think he just scores enough goals. And my dad turned around and went, score enough goals? Fucking Ronaldo wouldn't score goals in this team. But I just looked at my dad, and he was like,
the thing is,
laughing.
I can actually imagine your dad saying that.
But it was because we just didn't get a kick up front.
Yeah.
It was like you fight for your finishing in like second bottom or bottom.
Yeah.
It was just, and then the second year, it stopped, and we went to like youth team at about the level we were at. So we played like Stockport, Crewe, and we was good.
Yeah.
And we was decent then, and I a Blackpool, if you like, that sort of level, I took off then.
Yeah.
And it was like I started scoring goals. Although I remember scoring a header the year before against Man United. Wes Brown was marking me. I remember scoring a header, which is a very rare one.
Well, I was just about to say, a header, and Wes Brown was marking me with you in the equation, and not having it.
Just happened. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And then that second year, when I was a second year YTS, I've done really well. We had a really good youth cup run. We beat Peterborough 4-2 at home, and I scored 4. But they had like Matty Evanson and Simon Davis. They had a good youth team over there, and the first team manager was watching us because they did in the big games, didn't they? And then we played Arsenal the game after, and Arsenal had Ashley Cole was playing. I remember centre half called Reece, someone who's played for Cardiff for years, and then Jay Bothroyd, remember him?
Yeah, Jay Bothroyd.
He scored the best goal I've ever seen up front. He just hits it, and ball just swerves.
Yeah.
And I'm right behind him up front going, how do you even do that?
Yeah,
and he was just as cut above. I think we lost 2-1. Stuart Taylor was in goal.
Right,
and that was his second appearance in his career, that one.
I was going to say, he didn't get many, did he? Yeah.
And they were good. And then I done really well. I started scoring the reserves. And then David Moyes, the manager, and the first team, I think, got beaten in the playoffs that year. I don't think he really fancied me, but it was just sheer weight of goals.
Yeah.
He had to give me a pro. And I think I was the only one. I think there was one of the lads in Irish, he was already had one, but I was the only one who actually got one. Do
you honestly think that was like just like a token gesture?
Yeah, it was just sheer weight of goals. Peterborough come in for me. I found out a year later.
Right.
After that game, and he said, allegedly, better say that than I. Allegedly that I was already signed and sealed, but obviously back then he didn't have agents. So if the amount of goals I scored then, I'd probably get a 3-year contract, 4-year contract now. Yeah. Because it was looked at different, and I agree with it. It was different. Lads develop and prosper at different ages. And I see that every day here. But back then, if he's 17, 18, he's going to play in our first team tomorrow. No, he's not getting a pro. So I think it's different now. They understand that lads develop like that age from 18 to 19. You get even better, you get bigger, you get stronger, and then 19 to 20, you're probably ready. We've just had young Josh Seary on loan from Preston. He's done brilliant for us, but he was 17 when he come. Yeah. And from 17 when he come in July to when he left at Christmas, when he turned 18, he was like a different player, like a different man. Yeah. So I think you develop and your body develops, and it wasn't really looked upon that day.
Got a few visitors there, mate.
Yeah. They just want to get on it, don't they? That's all it is. So I got a pro then, yeah.
Yeah. And so he did. Did you get one game in the first team?
Yeah, I think I got 2 appearances in the first team.
Yeah.
I think I've come back maybe 3. Combined total about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But that year they won the league and they pissed it. They won it by.
So there can be sort of no arguments then.
No.
Is that there can't be like well.
No, I was doing well in the reserves, and I had a conversation with the manager at the time, and he said I'd go on loan in Scandinavia through the summer. And then come back for pre-season.
You'd have gone to Scandinavia?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, sound, I'd love that. And then they won the league.
Alright, that. Yeah, young single man.
In Sweden. I don't think I'd have come home, Dom. And yeah, they won the league. They won it. I think they won it by 3 or 4 games to go. So it was good to be around the celebrations. There's some good players though.
Yeah.
Really good players. And then he just pulled me in, and after the season, I thought he was just going to say this is what's happening in Scandinavia, and he went, I'm releasing you, I'm signing this striker for £2 million. Like, gobsmacked. I won't lie, I walked out of his office in absolute tears because I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
You just don't see it coming, do you?
No.
Even like first team players were phoning me going, I can't believe this, but when you look back, you think, well, he was probably right. Like, I don't think I was a championship player, but. It's just that I just didn't see it coming, and you're not prepared like you are now. I didn't have an agent. I didn't really know what to do. I was relying on help and people to help me, and that's what it is. Move on, don't you?
Yeah. So from there, you end up going Chester directly from there?
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Especially the first sort of year.
I was just going to say as well, because we're going to before we put the podcast out, we're going to put up. I come across a video the other day, and actually Cardi put you through for one of these goals. Wow. Was it on your debut, that?
It was my debut, yeah. And left foot at top corner. Yeah. That was probably one of Cardi's very few forward passes. That
I was going to say, yeah. He didn't even play a forward pass in training at Warrington to anyone.
I think he actually scored in that game, Doncaster.
He did, I think he scored.
I scored. I scored 2. I think he scored. But I loved it. It was like first team football. I was in the first team environment. We had a core of good young lads. Believe it or not, Cards was young then. I know he doesn't look it.
They have hair?
Yeah, only just a bit. And there was like 4 or 5 young lads, and some really good older players. Paul Beesley, remember him?
I think I
No,
remember,
his son plays for Blackpool now. Neil Fisher, Dean Spink,
remember them.
you know, Wayne Brown in goal. There's some boss older lads, but Andy Porter. But I think we got 50 odd games. We got to the third round of the FA Cup, got to the semi-final of the trophy. I just loved it. I think.
Yeah, but not only that, you're notching up quite a bit of a goal tally as well in that time.
I think I scored 17 goals in my first year for like, what was I, 19, 20. It's not bad.
Do you know if that was now?
Yeah.
Like a 19, 20-year-old in the conference scoring that. Forget about League 1 and League 2. You're having Championship. And
you're probably going to under 23s, aren't you, in the Championship club?
You would be,
you're
definitely.
Probably something like that. But that was what it was then. You know, I loved it. I think the Graham Barrows, the manager, and he was good for me. He was really good. I think I played 50 games the first year and then just absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And so over, it was sort of like, was it when Mark Wright come in?
So the second year was a bit of a nightmare because in the summer Graham got sacked, and then the Chester people remember the American called Terry Smith running. It was just a bit of a carnage, but the good players were going like Cards went, and I think a couple of us went. And we were crap, but I was playing every week and still scoring. I think I ended up with 19 goals that year. And so we had like 4 or 5 managers, but they were desperate for me to sign a new contract.
Yeah.
And I got an agent because you're still doing well. I was 20. Because that year, I remember it because I was doing really well, and they had me 21st in Blackpool. And after the team come, and I went to see the manager at the time, Steve Mungle, the manager. I said, "Look, I'm 21 next week, and we're going out in Blackpool. And, sound, I'll give you his Monday off." So I was like, brilliant. So we all went out to Blackpool, and Cards would come. Had he come back? I think he'd come back. He'd come back by then. It was Christmas time, and then Cards were really good mates with Robbie Talbot, and Robbie Talbot was playing with you on one with Morecambe. Robbie Talbot was playing for Morecambe. Robbie scored, and I scored. Robbie come as well. So we all ended up in
Everybody's
Blackpool.
happy.
Yeah, it was. You go on them B&Bs, it's 15 quid.
Oh my God, I've been there and done that.
And it was like...
It's like the Crystal Maze. There's like staircases leading
everywhere,
to everywhere. Yeah, I've been there,
It's like 20 of us. I just remember it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and someone was trying to nick the fruit machine. They were carrying up the stairs.
I remember.
Just carried up the stairs, and then the guy who owned it was just serving other people drinks, and then he just come out to go to the toilet, and he's like, "Where's the fruit machine?" It's in someone's room.
I remember going on one with Skem and Andy Paxton. So said to rang Pack, "Where are you?" He went, "I'm in this casino down the road." Like, it was about 5 in the morning. We're in there, 3 ale. Bladdered. I don't know what he done, Paco, but we ended up doubling what we'd gone out with that night. But that place, like you say, them B&Bs, mate, that is one shit.
Good night out though, wasn't it?
Yeah, weirdly, yeah. I remember we went to one club and it was like 4 or 5 clubs in one place.
Yeah.
Like different sort of...
Imagine going though, now you think about it, my birthday's December, freezing in it.
Yeah.
Trying to walk up that road, just wind, just blowing your wig off.
I remember, do you remember a centre-half called Steve Ackrig?
Yeah, I remember the name.
So, Acker's come on this night out with us, and I kid you not, I know he's been listening to these, so he'll go mad at me for this story, but we were in Blackpool one night, we've come out to Wetherspoons, and we're walking up the street. Looked in the Primark window, and the fucking mannequin's got the same outfit he's got. The complete... It was like he'd gone to Primark and said, "Give us that." Like, top to toe. You remember them, like, shitty cardigans?
Yeah. Speaking of outfits, you got a new hoodie on?
Yeah, I've got my new hoodie out. Capo, get on it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the footy. So, Mark, right, you've sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I think...
fallen out.
Yeah, so when he come in, I was doing really well. Obviously, he had big ideas and he got them promoted, and I still done well. And I was sick. I was gutted because there was 6 games to go, and I broke my arm at Forest Green. I couldn't play in the last 6, and we won like 4 or 5 of them. So I was gutted because I was on 19 goals. And then the summer come, I signed a new contract. I naively signed it. I shouldn't have signed it because I was doing that well, and probably that would be my chance to go in the Football League.
Yeah.
And then the year after, it was just a nightmare. I pulled my hamstring 4 times, just kept pulling it. And you look back, I don't think the best medical advice at the time, you know, not pointing fingers at anyone, but it just wasn't. And then, you know, the club was going places and they were basically replacing me, which was fine. I still scored a few goals when I played, but I think I only played 10, 11 games. I was gutted, and then the year after, it just wasn't happening. It was just the right time for me to go, and I still had 2 years left on my contract and just walked away.
Yeah.
And I went to Hereford. Ironically enough, they didn't... Chester were top, Hereford was second. Obviously, he didn't think I was going to Hereford because I walked away from my contract. It wasn't. I was going to play for Northwich. I thought I'd just go and play till the end of the season. Sean Teal was the manager. I was in his car, and a player played, Michael Rose, text me saying, Hereford want to sign you. What are you doing?
Michael Rose, who played for us.
Rosie, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was on my way. I was training at Northwich. So I just texted him saying, I'll ring you in a bit. And then, so after the training, Teely's expecting me to sign. So I phoned Rosie and went, I've just had our assistant on saying, like, do we want you? We've heard that you've left. I was like, yeah. So gave me his number. I think I spoke to him quickly. He went, yeah, don't sign there. You sign for us. I was like, sound. So I'd say to Teely, look, sorry mate, this has just happened literally now. And he picked me up, so I had to go back from Northwich with him. But he was sound and he got it. You know, he's been in football, and so I went to Hereford, and I'd had a tough time. I think when I look back mentally, a really tough time. That from August to Christmas, it was a tough time mentally because I wasn't playing. I wasn't treated very well. I was only 21-ish, 22. Sent to play in the reserves and then sub. It was just a bad time, and I didn't cope with it. And if I look back on it, my mental health suffered.
Yeah.
And it was a really tough time. I started drinking because I had to get... It was like, because I wasn't playing at the weekends and they'd be away from home, I'd train with the kids, and I just couldn't wait to get out on a Friday and a Saturday, and then Sunday you'd full of that nerves, you know, you do when you got on hangover. I don't want to go in, and I just hoped he won, so he'd just leave me alone a little bit, and you obviously put weight on, you lose your fitness. So I went to Hereford, probably not in the best shape. I was probably fighting my game a little bit, but it was a boss club.
Yeah.
And there was probably one of the best change rooms I've been into. Some great lads, all similar age, all mates, like Rosie, sort of got me there, looked after me, stayed with him and his then mother and father-in-law. And but the lads were brilliant. Tony James, Rob Purdy, who's ushered my wedding, Ben Smith, what a player he was. I still speak to Ben now. There were just loads of good lads. Steve Guinan, what a player he was.
Somebody asked on Twitter about how you enjoyed your time there, and like, you know, the run that you went on with them. And
I loved it, but I just couldn't get in.
Yeah,
and that was probably through I started okay, then I got a bit of an illness, and it was about 4 weeks. And then when I come back, I started being myself again. I got fitter. I looked better.
Yeah.
I was training really well, but they were flying. Steve Garnan and David Brown up front, and they were good players.
Yeah.
And you know, we had good players. Jamie Pittman, Ryan Green played for Wales.
You can't argue with it,
can
you? When they're winning, can you?
They were good, really good. But it was a boss group of lads, and because there's Hereford's one in places. If you're not from there, everyone travels. So we had obviously the Birmingham car school, but most of the lads just stayed there and dig. So you end up building up good relationships. We were all young. And no, it was good. I remember, obviously, I think I scored my first goal, and we won 9-0. We beat someone 9-0, Dagenham 9-0.
I think it still stands, that record, as their best ever win.
And it was like, but they were so good, such a good team. And it was mad because the last game of the season was Chester.
Right.
And we were like neck and neck with them. And Chester had to win on the Tuesday, or lose on the Tuesday before. And I always said, we play Chester, I'll score the winner, and we'll win it, and they won't. And the Tuesday, they had to lose at Shrewsbury. Now Shrewsbury were like flying in the playoffs, and apparently Shrewsbury only needed a point, so they just played out a 0-0. But apparently the game was, again allegedly because I wasn't there, but it was just eased out. You know what I mean?
Might as well have sat down, like.
Yeah, and then we won 2-1. I scored the winner.
Right.
So it did happen, but didn't mean anything.
Didn't to the point
then
that you wanted it, like.
we lost in the playoffs. Remember, we were 21 points ahead of. We were second. The fifth we were 21 points ahead.
Yeah.
Lost on pens. I missed. Got released.
Great, that, isn't it? Need that.
Got released in that.
So, you get released and end up at Forest Green.
Forest Green, yeah.
Why Forest Green? Because it's
I was quite settled in that part of the country, believe it or not. I think I had a girlfriend at the time, and I liked, I could stay in Hereford, and I built up a good group of friends. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I quite fancied just staying here. You know, I could have come home and gone to.
She must have been fit.
I'm not sure about that one, Dom, you know, when I look back.
I can't imagine it being a stinker if you stayed down there.
And then it was one of them. I got myself really fit in the summer, and I started off well, but the team was crap.
Nice.
And the change of manager happened, and I was flying. They offered me a new contract. I signed 2 years, but they offered me a new contract quite quickly. And then I did my cruciate, which was obviously a nightmare injury for anyone.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had another year left. And then I come back from that. It took me 9.5 months, but I was flying. I was absolutely flying with my rehab, because it was probably the one thing that happened to me, you know, I was talking about before, and I felt like a little bit struggling with anxiety and stuff because what was going on. It made me strong, because I was like, right, I'm going to get back. I'm going to get fit. And like the manager at the time, he didn't realise what he was doing, but he wouldn't allow me to go to the gym with the physio, on the training ground. I get that in case someone was injured at the time. So I used to get sent to the gym every day on my own to do my sessions. And I used to go to Lilleshall, where they had the national school, and it just got me stronger and, you know, strong-minded, and come back and I was flying. I was 6.5 months and I was near enough back, and they're like, wow, you too early. I got bit by a dog, didn't I?
Oh, is that when you ended up with that?
Yeah, I nearly lost my leg, so I got bit by a dog. And about 3 weeks later, I'm going to Lilleshall to do my rehab, because I used to go there like once a month, have a week there, because it was like brilliant. And I was going on the was it Friday? No, I was going on the Monday. So I going into training on the Thursday, and I said to the physio, my knee's sore, you know, it's like really sore. And he looked at it and he went, it's really swollen, that. Just have a day rest, because, you know, you think you're ahead of schedule, you think, yeah, go on, so I had a rest. Friday morning I come in, I said, I'm in pain here. So he goes, I don't know what it is. So he said, phone to call Pauline, the physio, phone Pauline on your way home. Go and pop into a phone. And she went, come see him. So I went to see her, and she went, that looks infected. I don't know what it is. There's no cuts. Your wound's all clear. 6.5 months. I was like, nah, I don't know. So anyway, I was with Ruth then, and I remember just going to her house the weekend and just lying on her couch all weekend. And I just couldn't move. And
did you not remember you'd been bit like by a dog? Like,
no, because it was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, right.
So you don't you don't think anything of it, do you?
No.
And I was only like 23, I think, or 22, 23. You think, well, we've had the physio at the time, so you've had tetanus, haven't you, when you're in school? So I was like, so on the Monday, I drove to Lilleshall. I don't know how I did. From like, Ruth's was rain ill then. And I was like, got there, and she went, you need to see your surgeon, I don't know what this is. So the surgeon was down to me, he was called Dr. Ray, and to be fair to Forest Green, when I got it done, they were like, look, I'll let you do your own research. There was a bit funny about the cost, but I got it done in Manchester, and a surgeon called Dr. Ray, who did Roy Keane's. I thought, if you've done Roy Keane's, you know what he's doing, doesn't he? So I got it done there, and I'd seen him a few times, and he was great and that, and he went, come see me on tomorrow. He was doing a clinic in Wigan. He said, come see me in Wigan, I'll just put you on the end. Just sit you in, because I can't understand what's happened. So I went to see him, and he went, wow, what is up with that? That looks infected. So now he went, so we checking everywhere. And then, anyway, I had like he went, let me take your sock off to do some movements with your foot. He went, what's that? I went, oh, I got bit by a dog. What? Bit by a dog. I went, right, okay. So he put this needle in my leg, and it was like about that big. And I always remember him just pulling all this greeny, yellowy shit out, and it was just like a relief. Do you know when like you just go,
Yeah.
No, I know what you're thinking there when you go make that noise. You know what I mean? But
he said it, not me.
Hey, and he was like, feels better. He went, wow, I'll have to get that tested. Never thought nothing of it. Went home. It was Thursday night. It was 11 o'clock, and he phoned me house, and my mum answered, and I was at my house, and she went, and she phoned me. She went, you need to get to Wigan Hospital now. Why? He went, you've got bugs in your knee. I was like, what? The doctor, he's just had the results now. He's just checking his emails before bed, and you need to get in hospital ASAP because you could lose your leg. I was like, what now? It's like 11 o'clock at night on a Thursday night. So I sort of got, not blue lighted, but mum come and pick me up straight to Wigan Hospital, check me in. And I was, next morning, I had a complete flush out. I was on antibiotics for like 10 weeks of real strong, like, I first met Ruth's mum, and I went for like something to eat with her. And I had like half a toasty, and she was like looking at me as if to say, what's up with this thing?
Surprised he didn't ask for some pedigree.
Like, went down to about 11 stone, like you when you were 10.
Yeah, that's just one leg for me that these days.
But then sort of come back from that, and it took me a while. Played a little bit towards the end of the season, but I was playing in midfield, I was doing bits, and then we stayed up on the last game of the season, and the pre-season. No, you just know you're not going to play. So
yeah.
I know you'll ask me why I left, but I'll come to that in a minute. And I just knew I wasn't going to play. So the last bit of me, my opinion was I needed to play consecutive games. I'd play a couple, then it's easy to drop. I was being injured.
Yeah.
So I went to Lancaster for 5 games. I played 5 games on about, scored 4 goals by that time. The manager being sacked and Jim Harvey coming in, and I just took off from there then.
Yeah.
And we were a good team. We'd done really well that year, and then he recruited well, and the year I left, we were a great team.
Scored a lot of goals for them, didn't you?
Yeah.
And clocked up a few games as well.
Yeah, I think I played over 100 odd games, and like as my time went there, you could see we were only going one way. You know, Jim Harvey was ahead of his time when you look back, and we had some good players, and again, another good dressing room, lads on similar wages, so there was no big hitters. The good lads, he had northern lads like Shelley, who was a good player. You know, we used to travel with me, and lads used to stay around there, like some of my closest mates in footy still now, Michael Brough and Alex Lawless, good players who went on to have really good careers. Darren Jones played in the league, Stuart Fleetwood, nearly went in the Premier League at one point.
He was the centre forward, wasn't he? Yeah. You have a bit of a partnership there.
Yeah, so we used to play 4-4-1-1 before it was fashionable. It was always 4-4-2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the whole game was designed on getting the ball to me as a 10 for me to turn to play Fleeton.
Yeah.
And we just took off. I think he scored 25 goals before Christmas. I think I had like 18 assists. I used to just turn, drive at someone and play him in, and you just go around the keeper and score.
When you see stuff like that coming off though, and you know it works, everyone buys into it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and we had some good times. We played Swindon in the FA Cup. The lads here, that's what they were winding me up about, because I showed them the goal. I scored header, and we should have beat Swindon. They were league. It was the second round. We beat Rotherham at the replay, battered them away 3-0. And we played Swindon, which was a bit of a local derby, and we were 2-1 up with 5 minutes to go, and we lost 3-2. Oh, it was the sickest I've been. I remember driving home from Swindon, sick, because I'm thinking, I'm not going to get another chance to play in the third round here.
Yeah,
and then, better chance. Yeah. They drew Barnet and lost, so I was made up in the end. But, you know, when you're so sick and that.
Yeah.
But now it was good. We had some really good players, and everyone started sniffing round, and Fleets was turning down offers left, right and centre. I think he turned down Cheltenham, he turned down Crewe. I think he just knew he had a good move up his sleeve, like.
Yeah. So when it comes to the sort of end of that, like, and why was it? Why did it come to an end?
Well, what happened was, when I done my knee, the end of that second season, the manager said to me, "Look, I'll give you another year because we think you've got something." Like, great. He said, "But you're not getting any paid through the summer." I was like, "Well, everybody else is." He went, "Yeah, but you're not." So I sound. At that point, obviously, I'd been out 9.5 months, and I played 4 months. You have to take it or leave it in it. So I said, "Sound." I said, "I'll take it." I said, "But you'll regret this." And he went, "What do you mean?" I said, "You'll regret it." I said, I'll prove you shouldn't have done that." So obviously played that next year on Jim Harvey coming, I think in September, done really well. He offered me a new contract, I signed it because I liked him. Got paid through that summer. Is that right? Yeah. And then Cambridge come in for me. And Jim had already offered me a new contract in like November, and I think I scored like 12 goals by Christmas, and obviously all the assists with Fleet, before assists with famous, weren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They weren't actually put down as a stat then, were they?
No. And I was like, well, I'll sign you a contract if you pay me that money that he'd never paid me in the summer 2 summers ago. And he went,
fair.
well, I speak to the board. So the board came back and said, no. I said, no, I won't sign them. I was like, they just kept saying to me, look, I want you to sign. I said, no. I said, well, you stitched me up because I've been injured, and I got injured playing for this club. And it wasn't like, I didn't do anything. I did everything I could to get back. I said, you just made an example of me and didn't pay me through the summer. You paid everybody else. Yeah. Because you knew I had nothing else. So.
But on the flip side of that, though, you agreed to still stay. Yeah. And try and prove them wrong.
Yeah, because I knew with Jim that second year. So if I probably got back in the team in October time and played most of that year, I knew the second season, because he was signing fleets, I knew that I would get the best out of me, and I'd do really well.
Yeah.
And it was the right thing to do, because we'd done really, really well. He signed a few. Simon Cliss was a good footballer. But that Christmas, I think we were 6th, and he was turning down offers for fleets. He turned down a couple. He turned down a few for me. But in the end, I went. Clisty went. I think Fleet agreed to go to Charlton, who were on the verge of the Premier League then. So it didn't really happen for them. But then, obviously, from my point of view, I went to Cambridge.
Yeah. And we'll touch on the Cambridge thing before we get onto sort of more the management thing then. But go to Cambridge. Is Cards there then?
Cards was on loan there.
Right.
From Aki, yeah. Cards on loan from Aki. Cards and Lee Mack. Lee Mack was a good player.
Yeah.
Good player, Lee. Very good. So there was 2 like Scousers or Northerners, if you like, already there.
Yeah. Did you stay up there or live it?
Yeah. I went, and it was mad. This is how mad football is. So that previous summer, when I said I stayed at Forest Green, I actually had talks with Cambridge, because Alan Lewis, the assistant manager, and he was my manager at Forest Green, and he was like desperate to get me, and I went to meet him and Jimmy Quinn in Cambridge, and it was like an audition. And I was like, it's weird this. So sat in with Jimmy Quinn's office, and his phone rang, and he negotiated with another player in front of me.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And then I went, and Lou followed me out and was going, sorry about that. I was like, fucking hell, if you didn't want to sign me, you just said. And the madness in it, because he signed me on a year's contract, and then 4 months later, he pays 25 grand and gives me 2.5 year deal. If chairman knew, eh?
I know.
And, but they were the year before they struggled, just stayed up, and then they were doing all right. So we had a bit of money to spend, and obviously it's a big club, it's a brilliant club. So it was a good decision to go there.
Yeah. And another one, like, it is a big club, isn't it?
Massive, massive. You don't realise, I think I'd played there once with Forest Green before, because obviously they got relegated from the Football League, and then once you get in there, you realise, like, wow, it's obviously a lovely place, but it's a big club. They had some men. They were like, Forest Green had a lot of like younger lads and lads who were potential, but they had men. Wayne Atwell was there, Mark Albright and Cards. Obviously I said Lee Mack was quality, to be fair to him. Courtney Pitt, who become a good mate of mine, good player. Glees, they're good players, but they were men. They were ready to push. Yeah. But after 2 or 3 weeks, like, Ruth was going to move down and we were going to move there, and I went to, I won't last here. I did, but I didn't think it would. With Jimmy Quinn, he was just, put us this way, we had our ups and downs.
Yeah. Any examples?
Yeah, so, madness in it. So when I got there, obviously you get to know the lads and that, and we used to stay in a house. It's called Lamb Beach, a little village, and it was like a house, and like you had like nice bedroom and a kitchen and that, and he was in there with 2 of the lads, and he was trying to get rid of one of the lads in the office in the day, and then he'd ring him, and the lads would be with us, and he'd go, the gaffer's ringing me. He'd answer it and go, right, gaffer. He went, yeah, will you take some prawns out of the fridge for me? It's like, she's trying to pay me up and I want to take prawns out of the fridge. But then,
just a strange cat, like.
Yeah, and he moved. But like the example with me was we went to Bournemouth because he loved Bournemouth. He used to play there and he was a hero there. So the lads were like, oh, we went last year's boss. So he's like, we got beat at Farsley Celtic on the Saturday.
Right.
And like, you'd think, oh, that's a bad result. You know what I mean? There's like 700 Cambridge fans there, just Cambridge at Farsley, you know, you've been them,
yeah.
Pretty stadium, innit? And so it was like, right, Bournemouth tomorrow, everybody be there, meet in this hotel by 1 o'clock. Don't worry about the weather, it doesn't rain in the pub. It's after the game. So we got there, and so the lads were buzzing because they'd been last year. So we went out on the Isle Sunday, went to go train on the Monday, and it was blowing a gale, like it was early Feb, January. Nah, not going out. See you later. Back in the boozer. So that's 2 days on it. Third day, he's like, right, we're going to meet after breakfast down by the beach. Went jogged down the beach. Wind was blowing a gale. Fuck this. Back. It was 3 days. The fourth day was the Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I think it was. Was it Monday, Tuesday? Sunday, Monday. Yeah, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, I'd had enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wednesday, we trained. I think at Bournemouth, somewhere around there. Thursday off. Friday train, played Saturday. Played Kidderminster on the Saturday. We were 1-0. We didn't have a shot. We scored from a pen. And then we lost the next 5 games. But the maddest thing is, the year before, they'd done the same thing and nearly went down. They went to Bournemouth, come back and lost 5 on the bounce. Done the same again. You wouldn't do it again, would you?
Yeah, I've always said that definition of insanity, innit?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over.
So we got our sub at home to Kidderminster and we got beat 3-0. After the game, I come on for 20 minutes. I sat having a go at me in front of everyone. So I thought, this is just not going to last. Anyway, cut a long story short, I think I scored a really good goal, my first goal, I think it was at Halifax. No, scored away somewhere, a header, another one. And I scored 6 and 6. That took us into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I ended up with 20 goals that year from 2 clubs. And then I played in the first playoff game. And I wasn't great, to be fair. Lee Mack come on and say he does 1 free kick, brilliant, because he was quality at them, Lee. And we had a pen, and Lee had good technique, so you always knew he was going to score. I think Mack had been injured, and I think me and Magno Vieira played up front. But he was mad when Magno never played all season, played the last game of the season because he rested everyone he scored, he played him. Second leg, we won 1-0, I didn't get on. So I scored 20 goals, I scored 6 and 6. I can't get on, but anyway, we're through. Wembley, got to Wembley, sub, gutted, but thought, you know what, we're losing 1-0. He put Leo Fortune West on, who was a journeyman striker, was affected. He put Macca on. Macca started. He put Leo Fortune West on, he put someone else on, and he started with Macca and Lee Boylan up front. So I thought must have been 5th choice forward. And I'd scored more than them all, I think. So, and we lost 1-0. So I mean, I was the lowest. I had a coach all the people go to the match. Yeah. It was just the worst. It was the worst feeling ever. My mates always say to me now, what's it like doing like heads and volleys at Wembley? Just laugh it off now, but we were gutted because that was a big chance for me.
Yeah.
So in the summer, I just said, look, I can't play for you. He's like, no. The thing was, he sent Macca back to Aki, released Leo, put Lee Boylan on transfer list at Owen Magno, and released Magno.
Left himself from
with
5
me,
strikers to
with me,
1.
And I'm the one he didn't put on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get yet. You're the one I feel sorry for. I said, I can't do it. I can't play for you. I said, it's gone. What you did.
Once that trust is broken down,
it was broken.
It's hard, isn't it?
Ironically enough, years ago he signed me for Namwich, and when first meeting with him, he apologised again for it. Yeah. So obviously he knew, but it was just, I was so wounded. And then Brabs took over. I thought, sound, I'll stay, 'cause I think he could have gone to Oxford. But Brabs took over with Cards was his assistant. So I've stayed, and we had another great year, but I got a bit of an injury, which I was carrying for ages, a hip injury. Probably seeing me now, can't you, my hip. And I just couldn't get out the car after games and stuff, but we were good. We were better second year because Bolly signed. He was quality, wasn't he? Bolly and Wayne Atwell, probably the best 2 in the league. Cards was playing really well. Scott Rendell, he was a goal scorer. Lee Mack done brilliant. I think he signed Lee Mack. Because he was good, Mack, like. And me. Scott Rendell, Pitty was playing. A young like Robbie, we were still playing the Football League now. We were good though, really good. probably should have won the league, to be honest. We had Altrincham last game of the season, we had to win 3-0. They come and park the bus. We just couldn't do it. And then we playoffs, got through, final Wembley. I just had an operation on that, so I couldn't play again.
Ran over a black cat or something.
Yeah. And that, I think it was in between them 2 years. I went to watch Everton against Liverpool. Remember when Andy Carroll scored?
Oh yeah.
So Wembley was not the best place for me.
No,
and as being an Everton fan, I haven't been since.
So we'll because obviously your career sort of after that went, we're not going to go through it all. Where going into Bersco and all that, but I wanted to speak about Bersco in a sense, because when you got the Bersco manager's job, you were playing there still, weren't you, at the time?
What happened was I signed for Bersco when I left Alty, and I was sort of coming out of like full-time football, if you like, and then I started working and things, and I think just had Reece, so I wanted to be like close to a can, and I thought, you know what, it's on my doorstep, wages are all right, and I was doing other stuff, and I was getting into working here and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. Derek was the manager, and I left halfway through the season to go to Hensford because he offered me like stupid wages. I regret it because my mum got ill at the time, she passed away, but it was a bad time for me. I think a lot of their players resented the fact that I was on goodish wages, and I didn't have to go on a Thursday. And you look back, I wouldn't allow that now.
No.
So I don't know why I thought I could do it, but anyway. And then I ended up back Bersco the year after, or 2 years after, with Derek. And Derek was funny. He was a good guy. And then I just remember I think I scored 12 goals, and then just dropped me, and he went, "You're not getting any younger, are you?" So I'm just going, "Is that it?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you scored the most goals in the league and most goals in our team." And he went, "Yeah, I know, but..." And about a month later, he went, "Do you want to be my assistant?" I was like, "Yeah, go on." No, but just before that, sorry, we started struggling. And I always remember it. I'm thinking, he's under pressure here, because you can see it as an older player. But I you know me, Dom, I've always been good around the changing room.
Yeah.
I've never been one, even if I wasn't playing, to cane the manager. And I think he thought, I need to win today. So he played me, we won 1-0. I scored, and I scored the winner. He pulled me after the game. He beat me assistant. I thought, yeah, go on. So I helped him for a bit then. And then he just pulled me, I think, and just went, I'm leaving after the game. I was like, wow, why? He said, I've got an offer to go to Bang. He used to play for Bang. I was like, all right. He went, just take it till the end of the season. So I did. And then come just before the what's it called, the last day we could sign.
Yeah, they have a cut-off point, don't they?
The sort of, whatever they call it, registration day or whatever they call it. The chairman at the time, obviously just passed away, hasn't he? So I won't speak, much about him that way, because you don't never want to see that, do you? But he decided to get a new manager, Simon Howarth, in. So Simon Howarth, they hadn't told me. So Simon Howarth just turned up at Bersco when I was just about to take training, and come sat in the office. I didn't know that. Yeah, just come and sat in the office. Yeah, I was like, all right. He went, yeah, these won't tell you, but I'm the new manager. I said, sound, nice one. Good luck. See you later. He said, but you can stay and help me. I said, no thanks. See you later. Just walked out. Went to change room, told all the lads. Next thing, the lads just followed me. All the lads straight into the Barons.
Yeah.
So this is the last day. So they didn't think it through, did they? So all the lads said, we're not playing. So they had no players. So then, remember Rod? Yeah. So Rod comes on and goes, look, because Rod was like the good guy, nothing to do with me, this, that and the other. He said, yeah, we need you to come back. We don't want sides. It was like split camp, like the board and the chairman and the directors. It was just a joke. It still is, if you in my opinion, look at the state of it. But he just said, I need you to stay. I want you to stay. So I'll stay on one condition: you let me have a go at it properly. So let's get this 6 weeks out of the way, and let me have a go at it in the summer. And he went, all right, yeah, but you're gonna have to convince the lads. So called all lads to a meeting on the Saturday morning and said, look, I'm going to do it, but I want you all to stay at the end of the season, we'll have a go with it. And they went sound away, so we did. And then that pre-season we changed a few things and brought a couple of players in, and the budget was £1,000, so you're paying lads 40 quid. That includes everybody. I think we're favourites to go down, and lost in the playoffs, so probably successful year.
Yeah, you say that because, I mean, under Derek, I'm sure you don't mind me saying it was just mediocre, wasn't it? It was okay, you know what I mean? But and then the following season, like, everybody knew that there wasn't any money at Burscough. Like you say, it's $1,000 a week, and I think that is the best part of it, when you can get a group of lads that are all pulling in the same direction, that all want to achieve the same thing. It's brilliant what you can do. And I see a lot of them players that you had in that Burscough team, they went on as well, didn't they? From that team, done really, really well themselves.
They did, yeah. They were young, but they were leaders within their own right. You know, there was. I used to have a little group, a little leadership group with Paul Williams, brilliant captainship. Yeah, Paul Willow, good player. Willow as well.
Great left foot.
Yeah. Anthony Brown, Will Jones, good players. MJ, good player, scored goals. Billy Smart done well. Little Joe played fullback. Matty Devine, excellent. And they were all on. Nick Ryan, they were all on wages, which they all knew. I think Brownie's younger brother was the lowest paid on 40 quid, but I think the top was at 90 quid. So that was like the senior ones, like Willow and Brownie and that. So Will Jones. So they just knew, and they just like they wanted to have a go. And you're right. I think Burscough had always been, they'll do all right. But I said in pre-season, look, we're not here to make up the numbers. We're going to have a right go, and we did, and we were good. We changed system halfway after about 6 or 7 games. Went to a diamond, and we worked on it.
Remember that? I remember the shape that
you played. And we were good at it. And teams would turn up and try and match us, and they couldn't do what we did because of the movement. And we had a lad called John Conley, who was a lovely left foot, and he was a good footballer. And Billy was really good at getting box to box. So they would just, if the ball was on one side of the pitch, John would just come and get it, and Billy would go and get in the box. So people couldn't fathom who to mark and when to mark and what to do. And it was successful. We were good. We were a good team. Again, probably in the playoffs against Spennymoor, probably played unlucky really, because they went up and up again straight away. And I mean, we lost in the semis, but we won it up, and we conceded just on half time. I think we'd have got to half time. It's different, but you know, say that kind of.
And then you get to the summer of that, and it's a bit of bedlam again at Burscough, which you know, it's generally been ever since.
Ever since, yeah.
So, but you get you end up leaving the club, basically.
Yeah, I remember it, like, so to give you the budget, and what happened was the year before, we played Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, and then Thursday we had Clitheroe. We were 5th, they were 6th, and they were like on our coattails, and we won 6-1. And then the Saturday we had another game, and it got called off at Ratcliffe, and then we didn't play till the following Saturday. So they went, we're not paying the lads. I went, are you messing? Are you taking a piss? It's like, this is April time. I said, they just played 3 times in a week, so the young lad who I'm talking about, you want to pay him £12.50 per game, and then you don't want to pay him. I said, come on, you're taking a piss. So I was arguing with it. I was like, yeah, okay, we will. But they never did, and it got to the end of the season. I was like, where's this money? Where's this money you promised? Because we got to the playoffs, and this, that, and the other. Anyway, you're fighting for it, and it wasn't forthcoming. I had a meeting about the budget. We were doing pre-season training, and he just said to me, look, you know, if lads don't get on, they're getting half wages, and lads do this. It was like, so I said, well, he's on 40 quid. So if it goes all up to spending more and doesn't get on, you give him 20. Yeah, what if he gets on? He still gets half. So, well, what if he comes on after a minute, scores the winner, and he gets 20 quid? I know, yeah, but this is what we've got to do. It's wrong. So anyway, we're arguing. This director of football, I think he's still there now, the chairman at the time, or the owner, whatever he called himself. And then I've taken training, and I thought, this is just bullshit. So I called training to a halt and went, lads, I'm leaving. What? So I'm leaving. I can't do this. I said, told them why. And they went, sound, well go.
In a way, though, you didn't want to make false promises to them either, did you?
No, that's what I'm like. I said, look, I'm not having. So I told him, I said, I'm not having him coming all the way up there for half his dough. No chance. Not a chance. I'm not doing it. I was like, yeah, sound. So the lads just went in. I think we all went for a pint. Next thing, like, are you going to stay? Not a chance. Am I staying? No, not a chance. So then the next few days, I phoned like Macca, one of my mates, and he was at Whitton at the time. Went, he said, help me get some of these. So I think 3 or 4 of them went with Macca. I phoned them all up, said, go with Macca, you'll love it. He's boss, brilliant coach. You'll love it. You'll do well. And they did. And everyone went on to better things. Nick went to Staley Bridge, which was a Conference North.
Top player.
Yeah, been unlucky with injuries, and he.
Very.
They all moved on. I think Calvin's just the only one who just packed in the goalkeeper, but everyone just moved on, and then obviously, since then the club's just dropped and dropped and dropped.
Shame, really. Good club.
Sad.
Yeah, but so after that, and then you end up with Cardi.
Yeah.
So you go in. So I was working it out the other day. It was October 2016 that he's went in at Warrington. So like your association now with Warrington's like into its 7th year, but we'll just start off where obviously you've gone in as assistant to Paul, who you've played with for years. He's a mate and everything. How was that first and foremost? Because I mean, I know when you went in there was some big hitters, wasn't there? There was a
they'd had a good year. Obviously, they'd won the league by a mile the year before. They only got beat twice by my Berkshire team. And they struggled a bit, and I think obviously they lost the manager towards the end of last year, and then I think someone took over. And Cards, you said to me, I think I'm going to get the Warrington job. Do you want to come with me? You know a lot more about this level of football than me. I've been in it for like 18 months or so. So yeah, sound. So obviously me and Cards been close mates since we met, probably over 20 years ago. And we're still like that now. Speak all the time. So it was like a no-brainer. And then I was young at the time. So was Paul, but he had a lot more experience than me. And it was good. Yeah, it was tough that first year because it was the transition, and obviously some players have got to go, and you want to try and improve it, and some players were overpaid, and you have to try and balance the books and things like that, and we did. And then the second year we sort of put our stamp on it a bit more, and we got beaten in the playoffs, just ran out of steam. I think we had good trophy runs, and I think we had a good FA Cup run, and we played about 60 games, just ran out of steam. And then the year after that, if I'm right, was the best year where we were really good, but unfortunately so were Farsley and so were South Shields. I think we got 89 points or 90 points, and both of them got more. It was one of them years where we recruited really well in that summer, because we got, I think if I remember rightly, Robbo, Dave Raven, Jack Dunn and Jack McCrath had done pre-season at Fylde, so they were fit because they were trying to get in. And right at the end, they just all got told they were getting released. So we took them all because everybody was done. So they were like, they're like experienced apart from Dunny, but the other three were like played in the game thinking, oh my God, what we're going to do. So we got lucky with them. We recruited them, and Robbo was a local lad, wasn't he? So that was easy. And then persuaded Dave to come and Jack McCrath. And we were good. We obviously signed Ben, Garrity.
Yeah.
Tony Gray, what a player Tony was, and I think did Josh come, Mossy come then, Mitch was there. There was a good Robbie Evans in midfield. We had Dunny on one side, we had Dylan Bowen come that year. We were good
Great
team,
side,
side, yeah. And obviously, we got to the playoffs, and it was for 1 year only. You're going to hear me sob story again here, aren't you? But it was 1 year only, the restructuring.
That super playoff.
Yeah, so we beat Namwich 4-1, then we beat South Shields away 2-1 in the final, so we won the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we didn't go up, we had to go and play Kings Lynn. And because of some problem in their leagues, they were playing on, it was a bank holiday weekend, they were playing on a bank holiday Monday. So me, Cards, Adam and Toby trekked down to Kings Lynn to watch them. And I just remember sitting there watching them, and like they had a couple of ex-Chester players, Cambridge players, Mazza, Adam Marriott, Michael Gash. I remember me and Adam just looking at each other thinking, these are decent, these. This is going to be tough, this.
Yeah.
But, so because of the way it worked, and again, I was outspoken last year with it, I still disagree with it, even if it was an advantage to us, because we'd scored more points than them, or more points than them in the league. It was a home game for us. So again, it was full. And we lost 3-2 after extra time, but we were 2-1 up with like 4 or 5 minutes to go and give away a pen. And then I was wounded. and they went up the year after in the Conference North, so the Conference pissed it because they were that good. And then the year after in COVID, it took us a bit to get going, and we started to feel like we were getting going again. I think South Shields had won it that year, and then, but we felt we had momentum, and obviously I think the COVID come in March, wasn't it?
Yeah.
March time, so that was curtailed, and then the year after we only played 10-12 games, and then that takes you to last season when Cards left in November, I think.
Yeah, well, I had it down as I thought it was sort of end of October, early November.
Maybe, yeah.
So Paul obviously got the offer to go to Telford. And then, what are you thinking at the time? Because I mean, I was there at the time, and I can't remember how I found out, but I found out before the game. Somebody told me. I can't remember who it was.
It was probably me, wasn't it?
It was probably you, or it might have been Toby. It wasn't Paul.
Yeah.
And they said like Cards is going to Telford. I went, all right, and he was going to tell us that. And what I thought was quite, I thought, fair play to you. We were shite on the day, weren't we?
First half we were.
First half we were shite. Second half, but he come in at half time, and even I know he's going. You know he's going. He absolutely went through them, didn't he? And I thought he didn't want to go out on a whimper here, like, you know. And second half we
should have won.
Should have won. Yeah. We got it back to
2-2.
Was it 2-2? Yeah. But then what are you thinking? Because Cards gives, like, obviously tells the lads, listen, I'm going. What are you thinking then at the time?
Well, we'd had discussions, and I said to him, look, I can't come. You know, obviously I'd worked with Paul, you know, and we worked really well together. And then one day, hopefully, we'll work together again at some point, you know, and that's not a secret, we're good mates. But I couldn't go because, you know, my job here at the academy, I'm not as flexible as Paul was in his job, and obviously to go to Telford you need to leave early, you need to be here getting back late at night, and you know it might affect your job in the day, and I didn't want that because I love my job here and I wanted to be successful in my day job as well as obviously the football. So I was like, look, you go, like, you know, don't me not go and stand in your way or anything like that. You know, I think Paul felt it was the right decision to go. It's a big club, you know. I think he felt he may have never got another offer. I think he would have, but you know, and I think he thought, you know what, this is a chance for me to go and get in the next level and test myself, and you can't blame him for doing that, you know, because that's football. You all want to test yourself the next level, don't you? So he did it, and then sort of chairman just said to me, I'll ring you tomorrow, and he phoned me and he said, look, I want you to carry on. I had 18 months left on my contract or whatever that year and the next year. And he said, just do it till then. I said, right, okay. Sound. I said, well, if you want me to do it, I want to do it my way. And so we went and had sort of more formal discussions and this, that and the other, and he said, go on, just crack on with it. So I spoke to some of the lads and stuff like that, and I thought, right, yeah, because I don't think I'd get, if I was going to go on my own at that point, I don't think I'd get an opportunity at that level with that calibre of player. So I thought, you know what, it's a good opportunity. Cards, to be fair, Cards was the one who was pushing me to do it, because I had a good discussion with him. I think he spoke to Toby and said, just give it to Bees.
Yeah.
So I think Paul was like instrumental in helping with that at that point. And he was, to be fair, he was like, look, you do it. You know, think about what you did at Burscough and this, that and the other. And he said, look, you'll be fine and have a go. I said, all right. So in the end, I decided, and then I thought, shit, I better tell Ruth.
Yeah, I'm going to be out the house a bit more.
Yeah, I might be on the phone a little bit more.
Yeah, but I mean, we can sit here and say it. Warrington weren't, after Paul went, Warrington weren't a shoe in the playoffs.
No.
I mean, you know, I was there. I was I was in the dressing room at that point, and he changed things, but he didn't come in with a meat cleaver and rip it up. You brought things in slowly. Dave Raven, sorry, bloody hell, get my words out, came in as assistant, and things started going for us, and we ended up getting into the playoffs. One thing I'll say, in that playoffs, because we had a bit of it was a funny one really for us, wasn't it? Because we went South Shields, played South Shields away with my mate Kevin Phillips. Yeah. So that was quite a funny one, that wasn't it? But we played them away, and
you're dying to tell your story, aren't
no,
you?
No, leave it. Better not. But we stopped off in like a hotel and done everything properly. It was to a T, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the first thing I did was to make sure, we needed to change things a little bit, but they didn't need surgery. There was good players there. I wanted to do it my way, but it, wasn't the right time to just go and right. It didn't need major surgery.
Yeah.
So we just, did things a little bit different. Obviously, brought Ravo in, which is a fresh pair of eyes, and he's been brilliant. He's a really good coach. He's thorough. He's good at his job. He's enthusiastic. He wants to do well, and it's clear everything he does for us. And it wasn't major surgery. And as you say, we were just a little bit inconsistent at times, but we got there, and we deserved to beat South Shields on the day anyway. We won on pens, but we were the better team, and we missed probably the better chances. But and then obviously you get to the playoff final, don't you? And it's one of them, innit? Yeah.
Felt like a cauldron, didn't it?
Yeah, it was just like I alluded to it before. It's not a final.
No.
It's an away game. Yeah. How can it be a final when it's on their pitch, which is an Astro, which they play on and train on, and we play on grass, at their ground when they have 3/4 of the gate? How's that? It's not a final.
I've always thought that. I've always thought the final shouldn't.
Now, like people, I said that after the game. I got a lot of shit off, especially Scarborough fans and other football fans on Twitter and that. And I said, well, look, and I stand by it. Even if it was us, it's not a final. It should be said in the league, and I've said it this season, but it goes to deaf ears, done it. That it should be named at the start of the season. Like the final is at Oldham, the final is at Chesterfield, or whatever. The playoff final, you get half the gate. Both teams have half the gate. It's a neutral ground, and it's a final. So you get more supporters, anyway, because they feel like it's a day out to a final.
Yeah.
Both clubs.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, they'll travel because it's a final. It's a day out, and then it's more of an even playing field. I get the fact, they finished higher than us. I get all that advantage, but it doesn't happen in the football league, does it?
No. I agree. I totally agree with you. So this season, as we speak, you're in the playoffs again. How's it going for all
right, yeah. We've changed. Obviously, pre-season was big for us because we changed things. We changed the way we play a little bit, and we brought in 4 or 5 really, really good players we'd identified early on. You've been with me. You come with me scouting, didn't you? We went to watch young Josh twice, and then in pre-season and we wanted to play a different way a little bit, and we've played at this point, in my opinion, we've probably played really well, but we haven't got enough points. Now there's a variety of reasons for that. Your 2 strikers who scored 34 goals halfway through the season, one started 2, the other one has started 9.
Right.
So it's not an excuse, it's a fact, it's a reason.
Yeah.
So to be in a position to fight for the top spots is a credit to everybody. So we're with, like, as we speak now, 15 games to go. I don't know when this comes out, but we're in a good position to have a go at it, we have done over the years, and I think we're in a good position and a good place. So it's up to us to keep going, because it's a tough league this year, though.
Yeah, I had when I said about you coming on, I had a Warrington fan ask about your squad. Do you feel like you've got enough in your squad at the moment?
I think if you could add to the squad, you would, but it's not as easy as that, because we've got, at this moment in time, we've got 15 players who are very good players.
Yeah.
To get better than them 15, you're going to have to pay money for someone, or break your wage budget, or find a money tee.
I think a lot of, if you're coming out of a club at this moment in time, it's because there's a problem elsewhere. Unless you're going for somebody who's ripping it up, you're paying money, aren't you?
Well, it's like, if you use an example like Connor Woods come to us, and to be fair to Liam, you know, give us Connor for as maximum time as he could, and he's better than our level. He's a good player, Connor. Now, to go and get a Connor Woods, which would make us better, you're talking a lot of money. You have to pay for him, you have to pay wages, you have to pay a transfer fee. But Connor Woods would make us better. So them type of players, as you say, are not around. You know, you get offered players every day of the week, but they're not going to make us better. So unless there's players going to come in and improve us, then what's the point? You know, we've got 15 players that can all play. You know, there's only Tony who's guaranteed a place because he's the only goalkeeper. But we'll
so one thing, and then I'm just going to go on to one of my questions that I always do. But so, is your contract up at the end of this season?
Yeah, you know, as I said before, signed. We just when Paul left, me and Paul signed contracts in the summer, so Toby just said, look, we'll just see where we're at the end of next year. So it's one of them. My contract is probably the last thing on people's minds at the moment. You want to concentrate on what we're doing. You know, it's daily, isn't it? You know, I know it's semi-professional, but you're working daily. You know, every night of the week on it, and it just
it's full-time job.
Yeah, and it just that type of thing, I think, will just look after itself. Yeah,
but regardless of that, contract situations and that, the ambition though is to still manage. I would say, is that
my
right?
ambition? Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
you know, regardless of anything, but, you know.
Yeah, I think the last 15 months, it's been a lot of learning gone on.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I'm in a position where I can pick up the phone to quite a few people. Liam at Southport's been great for me. Obviously, we have Tommy within the staff as well. Tommy Lawson. I work with Macca every day. He's the best coach I've ever seen. So I can bounce stuff off him, and he's got unbelievable knowledge. So I've got people who I can speak to and give advice to, and they can help me. And I think it's something that, although I wasn't overlooking for it, now I'm in it. I really feel like I've got something to offer.
Yeah. Right, last one then.
Go on.
3 must-haves to perform in your role as a manager. So what's the 3 things that need to be in place?
Hard work's the big one.
Right.
You know, I think you and your staff need to work hard because we only have a small squad and we have a small staff basis, and hard work helps. So, for example, myself and Ravo will watch our games back. We'll try and watch other teams. We'll try and do reports. Obviously, you do your general stuff, your recruitment, you're sort of speaking to players. And I think at heart, and obviously you're planning the training and stuff like that. And I think, you know, you got to work hard. And everybody, you know, who's in semi-professional football, you're professional. You're professional that you're doing it part time.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it 2 nights a week there, but you're not. Most nights to week you do it. So that's definitely one I think hard. What did you ask me?
So 3 of them. Three that have got to be in place for that.
I think another one is honesty. I think you've got to be honest. I think I've sat in too many changing rooms, sat with too many managers and coaches who you just know they're talking shite.
Yeah.
And I think I try and I live by the fact that I want my kids to be honest. I want my kids to be honest. I hate it if they tell me a little lie. I hate it. And so lying is something I hate since I was brought up, and so I always try and be honest. With players, if they're not playing, you've got to tell them, you've got to talk to them, and you just got to be honest with them. And sometimes they don't like it, but I think they go away and go, do you know what, at least he told me. You leave people out and they don't like it, but at least you've told them. You know, and you're not going to change your mind, but at least you've told them. And obviously sometimes you can't always do that with circumstances. You might arrive late, or, you know, there's just not a chance to tell people. But I think at most of the time, if you can be honest with people, I think it's a big one.
Yeah, definitely.
So your three. What? Go on, read that question again.
Just 3 must-haves for you to perform in your role as a manager. So 3 things that have got to be.
I think preparation's the third one. I think you've got to be prepared.
I'm not surprised you said that.
In everything you do, you know, you've seen, because you've sat in the car with me, you know how much stuff we do. We do the set pieces, we do observation sort of on the opposite teams. We have someone doing a scouting for us. We prepare training. We talk a lot. Me and Dave speak all the time about training. Obviously, goalkeeper coach Canners. We've got a really good staff. And
Tom, say you have got a good
staff, really good.
The good people
good,
as well.
Brilliant people. Dave's a great person. Mark is a bit older than us, and
he'd be made up. You saying that?
He's so important to us because he's straight, and I like that about him. And he'll just say, "No, you're wrong," or "No, do you want my opinion? This is what I think." And it's great because he's straight as a die. And alongside how good a goalkeeper coach he is, he never misses. He travels his fair way, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Obviously, we've got Spiro as well, who jumps in and out, and he's great because he's brilliant around the lads. And just you left.
Well, I was just going to say that was my last question. What's it been like without the main man on your staff, mate?
You are missed, Tom, to be fair.
Am I?
Yeah, because it's not you.
Has there been a gaping hole in the drinking of Guinness at Warrington Town?
Yeah, there's too much Guinness left after the games now, isn't there? But no, you're good, aren't you? You're good at what you do. You're good with the group, and you're. I didn't want you to go, did I? I understood your reasons and that, but you think you're good at golf now, and you're not.
No, I went to improve. I've gone backwards. Well, I've really enjoyed that, mate. But basically, I just want to say best of luck for the rest of the season as well. And if you're getting them playoffs and you're away and got them hotel things, I'll jump back on. Pick up my medal. So, Bees, thanks a lot, mate.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
Mate.